Hi everyone. So, what if I tell you there are thousands of companies that are currently hiring people remotely, okay, and and the and there is a whole lot of crowd that is looking for remote jobs these days, but they are looking in the wrong places, okay. So yeah, that's the agenda for today. Here here to help you to look for remote jobs properly and to search in a better way to land as quickly as you can. Okay, so I've been basically, so yeah, this is me, okay, Srivastav. I have been doing working remotely since last 6 or 7 years, I would say. Okay, so I do have some slight idea of how does the remote job searching process and how to get a remote job and how does the whole process looks like around that. Okay, so I'm just sharing my little bit of information here with you. Okay, so basically I have observed basically three strategies that you can basically, these are not just strategies but basically different approaches, okay, so which often works for remote jobs. Okay, so uh, basically that's what I'm going to highlight in this video. Okay, I will try to keep it as informative as possible. Okay, and this is probably my first video which I'm recording as a informative video, so if there's any mistakes, anything that I am doing that is not uh, and so just that is not suiting well, so please feel free to, I mean, please don't mind. Okay, so I will improve as much we can in the further video that we keep going. Okay, so yeah, so this is me. So first of all, okay, the why remote jobs? Why people like? I guess everyone asks like, what is the remote job first? Okay, so remote jobs are the jobs that you can do. That any job that you can work remotely. Okay, so basically it means that any job that offers you a work from anywhere kind of option. Okay, so it means basically that you don't have to go to office. Okay, you don't have to live beside the office. Okay, oftentimes there are some jobs which are located in a specific city, and they can call you maybe once a month or like once in a quarter or something, or there are oftentimes some like there are some compliances as well which requires you to stay in a specific area, okay, while you are working at that organization. So remote basically means that it frees you from all sort of things. Okay, so so I guess there is some kind of jobs that are classified as like work from home. Okay, so remote jobs are maybe a more specific. Okay, so basically work from anywhere. Okay, so there's subtle difference between that. Okay, but yeah, let's for this video, let's we can take it as like remote jobs are equal to, let's say, work from home or work from anywhere jobs. Okay, so why are we like, why to go with remote jobs, why to search for remotes? Okay, so it's not basically just remote jobs. As per as my experience, okay, remote is not just a work medium that you've been working in office or work. Okay, so now you can work from home. It basically brings it changes so many things, okay, in your life. Okay, so basically it basically overhauls the entire way that how we have been taught through, okay, how to work. Okay, so basically you don't have to follow so many shenanigans of the typical office job that you see. Okay, you don't have to uh, basically commute. Okay, you don't have to travel daily to your office, stuck in a traffic and all that. Okay, and so basically what happens that oftentimes we see that people like for a 9 to 5 job. Okay, if there is 1 hour plus travel time that gets added while going to office and while coming back to office, so it becomes from 8 to 6. Okay, if it's a better traffic, in the worst cases it might become 7 to 7. Okay, so that's the biggest advantage, like the first advantage that that everyone notices. Okay, second thing is like with that is basically there is a whole lot of ripple effect that comes. Okay, so when you are not going to office, okay, you save your time. Okay, you have a you can manage your personal life in a better manner. You can join a gym, you can do a hobby, and you can do all sort of a things. So you can maybe spend time with your family. Okay, and another thing, when you are not going to office, okay, so oftentimes you are able to perform your work. Okay, but not being in office, you are still like basically you don't have to follow the office shenanigans or all the non-productive things that you might have to deal with while being in office. So that's another positive thing. Okay, so that you just have to don't have to be formal, you don't have to dress formal. Okay, you don't have to do so much have patience training. Okay, over there. So yeah, I'll not go that much in detail, but you can imagine like how basically it can improve your better work life balance. Okay, so that's one. Okay, and accordingly, if you're working remotely, okay, and so you'll have the all the team meetings either with local teams or the global teams that will be attending on on your own. Okay, so and oftentimes remote jobs are often means that they'll be working with offshore teams as well. So that means that you'll have access to the global teams. And remote jobs often offers like often gets offered by the companies. Like you can basically do work with any company that is located, let's say in Japan, in Europe, or in US, or anywhere. Okay, you don't have to, you are not restricted in a specific office in a specific area or in a specific country. Okay, so that gives you so much freedom. Okay, so that's what the access to global teams here means. Okay, so you can like, and there's a whole lot of companies that offer remote jobs. Okay, so it's just that I guess those are not the most popular ones. Okay, but if you look closely, there are many popular companies that so you so oftentimes basically the it is a really heavy advantage that you can work with, like let's say suppose if there is like some company that has been launched recently and is getting really popular, so you can, if you're working remotely, if you do have chance to work with that kind of people and see how that. So yeah, basically it opens up a open collaboration. Okay, with the diverse teams. Okay, with the diverse set of people. Okay, with the 24/7 schedule, and it has so many more open spaces that it looks like. Okay, and with the like while you are working with the global teams, global companies. Okay, so the next advantage that comes with that is that you will be earning more. Okay, so as you know, in India oftentimes we have a large population, big unemployment, basically unemployment related things. Okay, so employment here, and there is a large crowd that is always in the job hunt. Okay, so and that's not the case with the developed countries. Okay, so if you're working with the companies from their side, like from those sides. Okay, so oftentimes it will be chance there will be chances that will the salaries will be much higher. Okay, maybe it can get higher into, like you can get paid in dollars, you can get paid in euros, you can get paid in any in their local currency, which will pay you much more, like maybe 2x, 5x, or even 10x as well. Okay, so that's the benchmark salaries that people get in those countries. So being in your local country, be it in India or any other local country, if you get chances to that. Okay, so that's amazing pay as well. Okay, so while your cost of living here is low, and you'll be getting the paid the higher amount. Okay, so I guess these are the enough reasons I have I have explained to why to go remote. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what are the strategies that we can approach. Okay, for finding remote jobs. Okay, so first of all, the first way to target the remote jobs. Okay, if you are located in India, okay, so you can try targeting the Indian companies. Okay, which are remote friendly. Okay, so how to find those companies? Okay, I would say there is a see oftentimes there is like if you are this basically video is more targeted. I'm talking about more on the IT side, okay, IT or corporate side, okay. So oftentimes any typical Indian IT sector, okay, there are three sides of companies, okay. First is the startups, okay. Second is the like second is what people call it like MNCs, okay. And so startups we can categorize this less like let's say less than 100 people, okay, those like. And MNCs we can let's say categorize as more than 1,000 people, okay. And there is third size that comes, okay, the companies with let's say between 100 and 1,000, okay. Those are mid-sized companies, okay. So mid-sized companies are the cream of the cream. Basically it has all the positives of the startups, okay, and it has all the positives of the MNCs, okay. So the best choice of if you are looking for any remote jobs are, okay, so the best choice that you will get in these segments are the startups, okay. But if you are an experienced professional, you don't want to hustle, okay, in a startup, working for long hours and constantly changing on the roadmaps and high pressure environment, okay. So if you want the peaceful stability of MNCs, okay, so you might target mid-sized firms, okay, because mid-sized firms are oftentimes they can allow WFH, okay, and they can also give you a good amount of learning and everything, the positives from the startups as well, so, okay. So so I would suggest to target mid-sized firms. There is whole lot of mid-sized firms, okay, mid-sized companies that and these are the companies that are often like often doesn't make much name, okay. Those will be always located in some specific area, specific city, maybe one office or two office in the whole country, and those will be known to the people locally only. Like if there is that company, like let's say there is some company in that is in Pune or so. Pune people might be aware of that hey, this company is nice, but that company is just having a 700 employees office, so they might not be known to that much on a like by the whole IT community, or by not that much renowned, okay. So you'll have to search for such companies, okay. You'll have to search on a thorough, I guess, diagnosis, or I guess thorough investigation, okay, to keep a check of such companies, okay. And you might find that this company like oftentimes like mid-sized companies depends upon like those companies are oftentimes the service-based companies, okay, but the better service-based companies with a better pay and with a better work-life balance, okay. So and they can allow work from home, they can allow remote work, okay, if the team is okay with that, okay. So so that's the, I guess, if for a general person who is working in IT, okay, I would suggest that's the spot, okay, that's the cream golden spot that you can target, okay. And how you can search such companies, okay, you can search it on the best way to find such companies are on LinkedIn, okay. Reddit is a good option if you are like basically if you are involved in a lot of developer communities and all, okay. And there is oftentimes so many other anonymous social media platforms, okay, like Grapevine, okay, and Fishball, okay. And there is some other applications as well, okay. Twitter, okay. So that obviously, so to attack Twitter is amazing, okay. So please so these are like if you are looking for a remote job, so Twitter can be quite handy in that process, okay. So these are the ways that you can basically hunt for remote companies, okay, remote Indian companies, okay. So these are the couple of other suggestions as well. Like you can basically try to search for remote filter in the link on the LinkedIn, okay. You can search for employee reviews and search for remote, work from home, work from anywhere, so those sort of keywords, okay. And also if you are like, let's say you are talking to the HR, or you have having any kind of screening round, okay, so you can directly ask like, is that, will that be okay? Like oftentimes some companies are reaching out to you, they have some specific job location, but they might allow work from home, okay, maybe temporarily, maybe a hybrid as per your convenience, okay. But asking it, if confirming it again, okay, requesting it might work, okay. So yeah, there is no hard rule that we know we won't be aligned, okay. So you can just ask, and before and see if uh, you might get lucky as well, yeah. So yeah, so that's the key tip basically, that don't assume that if a company is saying that, hey, we have this opening in this location, okay, so don't assume that this cannot be WFH, okay. You can ask definitely to HR that, hey, is this possible that I can work remotely, I won't be able to relocate for this, okay. Or like maybe if the HR is not okay with that, okay, for permanent WFH, you can ask that, hey, it is possible that if I will be able to, like, let's say uh, join the office once a month or once in a quarter or something like that, okay. Or maybe you can ask also that, hey, if is it okay if I will be joining the, if I will be basically joining the office after 3 months or 6 months, okay, because I do have some other family responsibilities or any sort of issue that you have to take care of at your home, okay. So you'll be able to relocate after some time, okay. So that's so basically if everything goes right, so HR will try their best to make sure that that doesn't become a blocker issue, okay. So yeah, and there is no harm to for asking it and requesting it from the HR before assuming WFO by ourselves, right? So that's the strategy number one, okay. And second is this is the basically fully remote global companies, okay. So uh, these are not easy to find, probably the most rarest of the rare, okay. And because these companies are the, like, if you get find these, okay, these are like the, I guess, golden companies, because they have these companies, the remote global companies have their whole infrastructure, ecosystem and everything set up for remote work, okay. So they have their teams located globally, okay. They do know that people have their own fixed working hours, okay. They might not be available at any given point of time, so there is whole async mode of communication that does exist for them, okay. And also there is a whole lot of basically everyone is working remotely there, so the whole culture of remote culture and like all the kind of convenience or all like when the whole remote community will be there, that will be helping everyone to achieve their best goals or best productivity while working from their homes, okay. So you won't be facing any kind of problem while working remotely that they have not faced before, okay. So that will be so that does have its own bit advantages, okay. And plus another thing is that as those are global companies, so the pay will be much more higher, okay. So as you can see here that these global companies might pay you in the US dollars or in the European rates, or that will be in euros, okay. So oftentimes that will be 2x to 5x higher than the local salaries, okay. So and these rules can get beyond beyond tech, okay. So these can be typical these roles can be typical into whole corporate sector, like maybe marketing, content creation or content management, or design, finance, HR, and all sort of the whole consulting and many other roles as well, okay. So If you get into these companies, okay, so these can be the really truly good opportunities, okay, and this means that this includes both, okay, so basically startups that have been recently launched, okay, in on a global space, okay, and also the fully established companies that are working globally, okay, so there are some companies that whose whole work model, um, which are like they have like probably 5,000 plus employees, and they have been always remote, okay, before the covid came, or before like since the inception basically, since that company founded, okay, so GitLab is one example of such remote companies, okay, so yeah. So so how to find such remote companies, how to search for those jobs? So these platforms are where you can look, okay, so we work remotely, remote, okay, Himalayas, this one has been recently launched, okay, and angel list basically is, lists down the startups, okay, and with where we can search for all sort of recently launched startups and how much they are hiring for and all that, okay, so another way can be that you can search on the Y Combinator hiring as well. You can also search upon the producthunt.com as well, okay, and earlier there used to be Stack Overflow that used to work quite well, okay, Stack Overflow jobs, okay, so that was quite underrated platform, okay, but I'm not sure if that is still continuing, okay. Another really underrated gem place can be Twitter, okay, if you use it right, in basically not following any kind of typical social media stuff, but more of the tech stuff, okay, so it is, I guess, Twitter is a more informative version of LinkedIn, okay, if you use it right, because there is whole lot of startup founders and tech leaders that are often quite active on Twitter, okay, so having a good interaction or having a good portfolio, okay, that might help, okay, so yeah, try Twitter as well. So strategy third is the contract jobs, okay, so this is the most underrated gem, okay, so please don't mind me, I keep calling every of those things that I have known as underrated, because I have not heard those things being used as a remote job source in much of the platforms, okay, so that's why I keep talking about, because those are the information that I have gathered from my own efforts, my own experience over the years, okay, so I'm sharing over here, so that's why I'm calling it as a underrated thing, okay, because I have not seen people looking on those kind of platforms, or on those kind of ways, okay, so yeah, yeah, please don't mind if I'm just like the underrated word becomes overrated over here, okay, so yeah. So what are the contract jobs, okay, so contract jobs are the jobs where you are not working as a full-time employee, so that means that you'll have a contract of some definite period of time, okay, so if you know, if you're working with a services company, okay, let's say TCS, Infosys, or any sort of services company, so every company works with their contracts, like the TCS has a team that is working upon for some projects, okay, so each of the resources, each of the developers that are working there will be getting as a full-time salary from TCS, but TCS will be taking some kind of contract for their resources, for their team, with the client company, okay, so that is the contract, okay, so similarly, if you are directly dealing with with that client company as a contract, okay, instead of taking any kind of a full-time payroll from any service-based company, okay, in between, so that means that you'll have a higher pay, okay, because there is no one sitting in between, okay, to take their cut, okay, and second, okay, that it will that all the positives and negatives will be coming to you because the next thing is that you'll be having a so basically contract jobs are that jobs that will have a certain tenure, okay, so it will be 6 months contract, 12 months contract, or 2 years contract, something like that. Okay, so depending, and it might get a renewal when the contract term is about to end. Okay, depending upon your performance, depending upon the company's performance. Okay, so similar like that. Okay, so what are the advantages and disadvantages of these contract jobs over full time? Okay, there can be a whole lot of big video that I can make, but in short, okay, contract jobs pay you in their local currency. Okay, directly. Okay, they don't have to have their legal entity, legal company set up in your local country. Like suppose if you are working for a company in Germany. Okay, and that company does not have their existence in India. Okay, so they can you can work with that company, you can work with their team. Okay, from your own uh, place in India. Okay, and you don't have to have a legal contract, basically. Not You don't have to have a full time payroll with that company, because that company can run payroll in India only if they are located in India. Okay, as that company is not located in India. Okay, so they will be paying you as a just maybe basically maybe hourly payment, maybe bi-monthly payment, or maybe monthly payment, depending upon what kind of a payroll setup that you have done with them. Okay, so the advantage here that will be that you'll be getting paid in their local currency. So suppose if the company is in Germany. Okay, so you'll be getting paid in euros. Okay, and you have to deal with your own taxes, own all sort of perks, benefits, everything. Okay, like insurance and pension, PF, and everything, because that contract basically said, hey, I'm asking you to do this job. You are located in India. Okay, you are doing it. Okay, and if and for that I'm paying you this much money, and other than that we don't have any responsibility for each other. Okay, so that's basically the contract. Okay, so there is so contract oftentimes contract jobs can be remote jobs as well. Okay, so in if you see in India, there is the culture of full-time jobs. Okay, like we all have been habituated of working remotely. Okay, but that's not been the case in abroad. Okay, so in abroad, if you see, the companies are not working like they don't offer every time the full-time jobs to their engineers, and everyone is perfectly okay with that, because they know that they have a certain tenure of contract. Okay, and they keep working on their job, and it's perfectly fine with them. Like if you see in Australia, Canada, or in Europe. Okay, so the contract working as a contractor is quite common. Okay, so it's nothing it's not considered any kind of a lesser than a full-time job. Okay, so and oftentimes contractors are paid in USD. Okay, so US dollars. Okay, and often as Indian developers are not chasing contract jobs. Okay, so there is quite less competition there. Okay, so that's the secret. Okay, so and it offers a higher pay. Okay, as maybe more than the previous two options. Okay, and you'll be working with the same team. Okay, same in the perfectly same fashion that as a full-time employee. So you'll not be dealing with any kind of a lesser job than their own full-time employees. Okay, so yeah, it will perfectly maybe the team might not be aware of that you are working as a contractor or you are working as a full-time job. Okay, so because it's an employment status, right? Yeah, so that's the and also the with the contract jobs there is also opportunity chances that you can get a full-time remote job as well, and also uh, you can do a B2B firm, and you can like basically there can be whole lot of things with the remote contract jobs. So that this can get expanded into its own video. Okay, that will take me some time to explain. Okay, so I will try to explain in a more detailed version. Okay, in another video. But for now, yeah, remote contract jobs are quite good source to have work remotely and chase that. Okay, so one of the good platforms to get remote jobs are Total. Okay, So it's not yeah, it basically it's a big network, okay. And for freelancers, for basically highly specialized professionals in their job, okay. So Total has their own hiring test and all, okay. So it's difficult, okay. It's not easy to crack, okay. So once you crack those tests, those exams, okay, so then they onboard you on their platform, okay. And then their opportunities are getting posted, and then you'll get interviews for those, and that's how the onboarding and joining happens through the Total, okay. And next similar thing is there is Andela, okay. Andela is also quite challenging platform where like basically Total or and Andela, both. Andela means that Andela, okay. So Andela is also a similar platform which offers remote contract jobs, okay. And it also offers basically it's a good platform which offers quite premium remote jobs, okay. And but again, the onboarding is not easy because the hiring tests and interviews, okay, can get pretty tricky, okay. So those are not those are I guess slightly more difficult to crack than the full time, okay. But yeah, if you can do that, certainly you'll be getting paid in USD, getting paid twice or thrice, okay. And as you can work remotely with big names like maybe Fortune 500 companies, okay. So yeah. Another platform that has been recently getting popular is Contra, okay. I have not tried it, but it's more towards to the designer and on the visualization side, like UI UX and those on those kind of a platforms, okay. But yeah, it's getting popular and getting expanded as well, so it might get expanded towards the other segments as well, like tech, marketing, and more as well, okay. So yeah. And similarly, these Lemon.io, Gun.io, these are the AI platforms that has been recently developed that does the AI based scrapping and for their focused contract roles, okay. And in the last we have Upwork, okay. So I guess everyone is aware of Upwork, okay. We all have made our accounts on Upwork, okay. This is a perfectly open marketplace, okay. So if you are someone who is trying for freelancing, if you are someone who is trying to sell their services as a individual contributor, or if you have any skills that is marketable, okay, welcome to Upwork, okay. So Upwork can be perfectly fine platform for landing remote gigs, remote contracts, okay, and as well as full-time roles as well, okay. So yeah. Happy for Upwork. I guess if you've not tried that, okay, definitely go ahead and try the Upwork. There is a bit more crowd here these days, but I guess still it's quite decent. And if you make your profile in a bit more optimized, chances are higher that you'll be able to land some offers in a few months, okay, if you keep trying regularly, you know. So I guess yeah, these are the three strategies that I had to share, okay. And next is how to stand out, okay. Uh, so yeah, okay. So if you are applying somewhere in some company, okay. Okay, so in if you are applying to any of the companies that I have listed above, like in any of through any of the approaches, okay. First of all, try to optimize your LinkedIn, okay, because that's a most obvious thing that every recruiter or everyone checks out, okay. So having a solid LinkedIn always helps in more of the indirect ways than the direct ways, okay. So have the proper keywords, okay, for and the relevant information that can anything that can stand you out, okay, through the crowd, okay. So that and also be consistently active on LinkedIn, so that if anyone searches your name there, okay, it can get popped up at least on the first page, okay. So that the little bit of SEO there works as well. Okay, so yeah, but try to optimize LinkedIn in all the possible ways that you can. Okay, so I will probably make another video for how to optimize your LinkedIn, okay, later. But yeah, having a solid LinkedIn profile, okay, definitely works in a so many positive manners than people usually think. Okay, and next thing is that highlight your async skills. So if you're going to work remotely, okay, you'll have to be self-driven, okay, self-motivated, okay, and disciplined person. Okay, so if I'm going to hire you, so how do I believe that you are that kind of person? Okay, so highlighting your async communication skills can be one way, okay, to increase your chances, to increase your trustworthiness, okay, so please showcase your written communication, self-management, and all those kind of things that basically make you stand out as a sync mode teammate, okay, that can basically that everyone can rely upon. Okay, and next thing is that having your own portfolio or website that can prove that you have delivered before and you can deliver now. Okay, so that definitely helps. Okay, and next thing is that you always have to basically, not always, but basically if the remote jobs can be basically globally located. Okay, so it might be possible that one job that you are applying for is in let's say in US. Okay, another job that you are applying for maybe it's possible that it's in Australia. Okay, so the time zones related issues can get quite frequent with the remote jobs. Okay, so you'll have to be okay with working in different time zones. Okay, and also make also please basically collaborate with the offshore teams that are there, that you are working with. Okay, so that you have some overlap hours where you can work together on your issues, on your attend your meetings together. Okay, maybe have some peer-to-peer discussions and anything that is needed for the whole team to grow up. Okay, so that's the time zone flexibility that if you have that. Okay, so that does really help. Okay, so basically recruiters check this a lot basically when they are looking for usually candidates from, let's say, from some specific country. So oftentimes their region is that time zone for that country stands out to them as per their requirements. Okay, so if you are able to work in that time zone, okay, they will be happy to proceed with you even if the opening is not for your country. Okay, so it has happened a lot before. Okay, and I am sure that this can work out for you as well in future as well. Yeah, and next is use Loom videos instead of calls. This is just quick suggestion. Okay, so if you have any kind of a portfolio or any kind of profile like Upwork or something, okay, having a video introduction that you can basically share, and so people can see your face and how you talk and how you approach things. Okay, that pretty much gives people more confidence to work with you than having pick up the phone and calling you, and or like maybe calling on WhatsApp or having texting. Okay, so all that, okay, to figure out those details. Okay, so having your own Loom video oftentimes makes you a bit more stand out than the competition. Okay, so that's what this is. Yeah, and another thing, yeah, for remote jobs, if you are a newbie, okay, if you haven't been in this space since long, okay, it is quite possible chances that you'll be having many calls that are remote job scams. Okay, so always try to avoid such easy remote jobs. Okay, so if anyone is just promising you to like pay a higher amount just sitting at home not doing much work, probably it's a scam. Okay, so if there are some signs that you can basically look for, okay, that just to avoid like basically the beginner level red flag, but there can be red flag more than these as well. Okay, so just you'll have to basically be a bit more cautious, and you'll have to develop do your own research, okay, about any of the company. About it's a basically remote jobs are not any kind of a alien kind of a jobs. It's a basically it's a just like any other job, okay, that you have heard before, that you have been doing before. Okay, so nothing is different about any than any other regular job. Okay, so if you see anything different than that, okay, oftentimes it's a red flag. Okay, so you have to identify those things. Okay, so for just on the basic level, if there any company or any HR is asking for any kind of a payment, okay, if anyone is asking for any kind of like if that company does not have any kind of a website or any kind of online presence, okay, digital presence on LinkedIn, on Glassdoor, on Twitter, on any kind of social media, or on own website, okay, on YouTube, okay, so oftentimes that might be a good scam. Okay, so another thing is that if they are offering you some kind of a offer, some kind of a quick money, or any kind of a like deal, that through the WhatsApp, or especially through the Telegram, if there is any HR reaching through the Telegram, it might be plain scam. Okay, so people do not share their Telegram IDs on their resume, right? Okay, so HR might reach out on the WhatsApp, but I have never seen any HR reaching out to me on Telegram. Okay, so if there is any communication happening through the Telegram, it's definitely a scam. Okay, and next thing is through the WhatsApp, if there is anything that looks to you a bit fishy, a bit more easy to catch thing, okay, oftentimes it's a trap. Okay, so don't fall through that. Okay, and next is that if the hiring is too easy, okay, if there is no interview process, if you are just sharing your resume and you are getting hired, okay, that might be a bit maybe a tricky flag. Okay, so don't fall into these traps. Okay, and if there is any kind of a simple, just plain vague job, okay, and there is too high pay for that, okay, let's say if you are just a fresher and if you have to do just maybe some kind of simple work, okay, and you are getting too much high pay for that, okay, maybe in dollars or something, okay, or any kind of a high pay, okay, you have to understand that there is no such thing that works without that. Okay, so all the things that I have earlier promised, that like maybe 5x 10x pay, okay, you have to verify those things very clearly, very cautiously, because if some company is offering you just a plain simple job and giving you high pay, and that company is not very well known, okay, that company does not have a good presence, okay, chances are that is a quite red flag. Okay, so you have to understand those things. Okay, even if the company does have a website, it's not properly secure, it's not a very well professional website, okay, so it can be a red flag. Okay, so you have to understand those things. You have to check on Google, you have to check their employees, okay, how many employees are there working, you have to check their LinkedIn activities, you have to check their, like, there are so many things that you can check. Okay, so if you're stalking someone, like, you know how to trace their shenanigans on throughout all the social media traces, right? Okay, so similar thing you have to do with your career on and the workplace that you're going to join. Yeah, so the next slide. Okay, so this is the basically checklist. Okay, so that if you are looking to start your search, okay, in for remote jobs, okay, so from this week you can start with this way. Okay, so this is the checklist that you can follow. Okay, first of all, update your LinkedIn. Okay, add remote to your headline, turn on open to work. Okay, another thing is that apply to 5 remote friendly companies, use LinkedIn and Glassdoor to find Indian companies and with WFH policies. Okay, also try to find some global companies and some global startups as well and apply to them as well. Okay, register on 2 job boards. Okay, and so you can do this as well. Sign up on the We Work Remotely, Remote OK, or Himalayas, or maybe there is so many other remote job boards as well. Okay, so where well found, and there is so many other job boards that I have earlier mentioned. Okay, and you can also build your Upwork, Toptal, Andela, and there are so many other profiles as well. Okay, and also try building your own portfolio as well. There is, and next thing is that you can also try developing your async communication skills. Okay, so like writing clear updates, writing clear basically, if let's say suppose if you are working in async mode, so then your whole work space, okay, so like suppose if your organization works on the MS Teams, or if they are using on Slack, if they are using Slack or anything else, okay, so that becomes their office. Okay, so you have to make sure that you are present on your office. Okay, you are updating, you are visible in your office. Okay, and that people are happy to reach out to you on that workspace, right? Okay, so you have to be like be develop your own kind of transparent ways of communication. Okay, and keeping things in sync. Okay, for everyone. Okay, whoever is available in your time zone and whoever is not available for in your time zone. Okay, so that and also you have to make sure that the things are updated throughout the like documented properly, so that if anything comes up later as well, okay, you can catch it up. Okay, similarly, yeah, recording a Loom video, that will help as well. Okay, for async communication and async applications basically. Okay, so yeah, these are the action plans. Okay, so yeah, so I guess yeah, this is it for me and in this video. Okay, and if you have any suggestions, anything more to add, okay, or if anything you have liked about this video, please hit a like. Okay, I'm just starting out my own journey. Okay, for the content creation I have a lot to share. Okay, but I'm just trying to basically, after a like long period of waiting, I'm starting out now. So hopefully I will be recording more videos as we get ahead. Okay, in the as we get the responses. Okay, so thanks for watching, uh, uh, and please do subscribe, and the comment below for any kind of suggestions or any kind of issues that you are facing. Okay, if you need any kind of help, okay, please feel free to reach out. Okay, so yeah, this is me, Mukesh Shrestha. Thank you so much. Yeah, take care.